Today I have a call with Kamal. He's from Morocco, I believe, and he's an online in e-commerce, a dropshipper person, and he has some questions for me. So I'm waiting for him to come in now, and once he gets in, I'll let him in.
Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned
Kamal,
up.
how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Thanks for showing up for the call today.
yeah. Thank you for hosting me today. It's great to have you share all these knowledge and all this information for free, man. It's great.
Yeah, I'm happy to help, and I'm sure
Thank
you
you.
have a couple questions for me. I guess first, before you get into it,
hmm
where are you calling me from today?
I'm from Morocco.
Morocco. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. So, normally, I guess you've seen the calls. How we do it is you can tell me about your business and a little
yeah. Sure,
overview, and then you
of
can
course.
start into your questions.
Yeah, sure. Now, my business is the main activity is drop shipping.
Hmm.
I formed an LLC in Wyoming in November 2019. I don't have an office or something like that, just a normal mailing address.
Yeah, drop
Now,
shipping.
yeah, exactly. For the platform, I'm using Shopify, and what I am selling generally is like gadgets. Like recently, I'm selling like fire blankets, mobile chargers, like power banks and stuff.
Okay,
So mainly gadgets and gear. That's what I sell.
awesome. How are you? Are you selling? Are you running ads? Are you doing
Yeah,
Google AdWords? Are you doing
uh,
Facebook ads?
yeah, I'm doing Facebook ads exactly. I'm running ads through Facebook.
Okay.
Now, my first question is just simple, basic question. Because I'm just a beginner in this stuff. Now, what I would like to know first is if you can name me the taxes that I should pay, because the only thing that I know about taxes is that I should pay a flat rate of 30%. I don't know if that's correct.
Well, you have an LLC, right?
Yeah, yeah, the only
Okay.
member.
So you're the only member. So where do you? Why do you think you have to pay 30% of
Uh,
taxes? What do you mean? Like 30% for income taxes?
it's just like I said. I just read that in an article. I don't remember exactly how much, so that's what I'm asking. Like just simple, basic stuff.
Okay, so as I mean, as long as you're doing no business in the U.S. and you're just drop shipping from
Mm,
Morocco,
mm,
you, from my understanding of the law, you would have no income taxes to pay.
mhm.
The only tax that you'll eventually have is sales taxes, and that's on, yeah, and that's not a tax you have to pay. It's more of something that you would collect, and
Mhm.
then you would pay after you collect it. So it's not an expense to your business. It's just more administrative work that you would have to do.
Oh, okay, because I also sell to most of my customers are in the US.
Yeah, of course. So it doesn't matter if the customers are in the U.S. because again,
Oh, okay.
you're just shipping them stuff. You're running your business from Morocco.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, you said that's just sale taxes, like I don't need to pay any other form, like any other stuff, just
Um,
sales taxes.
yeah. So sales taxes are basically if you sell more than 200 items in a state,
Mm-hmm.
then you will have to. Then you're technically, if you sell more than 200 items during a year in a
Mm-hmm.
state, then you
Mm-hmm.
generally have to start collecting sales taxes
Mm-hmm.
on those purchases and then sending them back to the state.
Oh, okay, so for this sales tax, should I impose my customers to pay it?
Yes, of course. And I think there's plugins. There's definitely plugins with Shopify that you could use because they track. It's all based on the shipping address.
Mm-hmm.
So there's plugins you can use with Shopify to track it and to actually pay it. I think TaxJar works. I think TaxJar works with Shopify, and they have some really good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good systems for that. So it's more tedious than anything. It shouldn't be a cost in your business. It's very normal and standard for
Mm-hmm.
Americans to have to pay sales taxes on things,
Mm-hmm.
especially now with the different e-commerce laws. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it varies from state to state. So California has their own laws, New York,
Mm-hmm.
Florida,
Mm-hmm.
every state has their own laws.
Okay. Now, this sales tax that I should pay, is it based on the total revenue of the business or just my net profit?
Sales tax is based on the gross sales. So if you sell $50,000 worth of blankets
Mm-hmm.
in California, and the
Mm-hmm.
sales tax rate in California on blankets is 10%, you charge the extra 10% to your clients. So
Oh, okay.
your sales would be 50,000, and you would collect 55,000. and you would send that extra 5,000 to California as sales tax. And then you tell them, look, my gross sales in California were 50,000. My sales tax is this much. This is what I collected, and this is what I'm paying right now for it. And depending on you have to register with each state. Each state has their own filing rules and requirements as to when you do that.
Oh, okay, great. Now for 2019, like November and December, I didn't make any sales. Like I didn't have my business didn't make any revenue. Now, should I file tax returns?
So if you paid to open your company, technically you would be required to file Form 5472, and that's just reporting reportable transactions between the LLC and the owner of the LLC. So if you paid to open your company and it was open, then technically you'd be required to file that form. And it's just an informational form. It's not, there's no tax to pay on the form.
Oh, okay.
And again, all of these, well, I say again, but I haven't said it yet on this call, all of the things that you're doing, the sales taxes, these income tax forms, the US, all the states and the federal government are still working on how to actually enforce these taxes. So it's all like, well, this is technically required. If you don't do anything, you could probably end up operating for years before anyone says anything to you about it, so so don't stress too much, but I would recommend staying in compliance and getting it all done.
Yeah, sure. That's why I asking just to know these things, because like I said, I'm just a beginner, so it'd be cool to plan these things before the due date comes, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
Great. Now, I watched there's a recent YouTube video. I think the man who was calling you was from Kazakhstan, I think.
Okay.
And he talked with you about having like multiple stores and only one company.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more details about it? Like if it's okay to have that?
Yeah, it's you can do multiple stores and operate under one company. It's like your company does e-commerce stores, and that's what your company does. The fact that you have different brands and things is fine. And the reason you would maybe want multiple companies is if you have legal liability. But since you're in another country, no one's really can sue you from Morocco because of, like if you're selling like, Americans are silly sometimes. Let's say if you're selling like knives and somebody cuts themselves on a knife you sold them, they would like try and sue you. And then if they win the case, then they get the assets from all the businesses that your company owns. But since there's really little liability in what you're selling blankets. It's really unrealistic for you to get sued. And then additionally, you're located in Morocco, so it'd be so costly and impractical to do that. You can operate everything under the same company. But that's the reason you would use multiple companies, is more legal protection.
Oh, okay. So it's okay to have multiple names, like different stores with multiple names. Not exactly like they should not exactly have the same name.
You can do whatever you want, really. It's like you can really do whatever you want.
Okay.
Another reason you might want multiple stores is if you're staying under the sales tax threshold, because now technically, if you have this one company, you sell like 100 blankets and you sell 100 chargers. Now you're at the 200 sales for the sales tax collection. So you would have to do sales tax all together, like as one company. So it might be a little more confusing doing it that way. But I would still use one company probably. It's probably easier.
Yeah, much easier. Now, next question. Is there any problem using my personal debit card to pay business expenses? Like, as you know, being a foreigner and not being able to visit the US, I'm having trouble having like a business account, a US business account for my business.
Have you tried like Mercury Bank and TransferWise? Have you tried those two?
I've tried TransferWise, but the problem is they don't ship their credit card here in Morocco, and I couldn't manage to link that TransferWise bank to PayPal. For some reason, they don't accept it. But for Stripe, it was great. Like the merchant account, everything went fine. But for PayPal, for some reason, they refuse to let you link that TransferWise bank account with your PayPal account.
So you had no issues opening a Stripe account. Is it a US Stripe account or a Morocco Stripe account?
No, US Stripe account.
So you had no issue opening a Stripe account with just the LLC?
Yeah.
Awesome. Because a lot of people have issues with that, and because eventually Stripe will come back and ask you for an ITIN or US address or something like that. So a lot of people, a lot of my clients have had issues with Stripe letting them operate.
Oh no, that wasn't a problem because the service that I used to actually form the company. Well, no, I don't think that. No, it's because I used another person that got me the AIN number. So when they asked me for it, I was like, here it is, like no problem. And
Yeah, I mean,
I
you need the EIN number for the
yeah,
company. I'm just saying
exactly.
sometimes Stripe,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and-
sure.
yeah, I was just sometimes Stripe in the past has asked for tax
Hmm.
IDs or U.S. address or proving your
Hmm.
U.S. residency or something
Hmm.
like that. So that's
Hmm.
what I've seen. It's cool that they're not making that for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Now, my next question for you, James, is, I've heard this. I don't know if rumor is the best word to describe this, but I heard like multiple people talking about these banks, like physical banks, not virtual. They'll let you actually, or they'll create for you an account, but they will not require you to be physically present in the US. Like they would do just a Skype session or whatnot, and you provide them with your ID and your information, and they will create the account for you.
I
Is that
wish it
true?
would. I wish it was like that, but if it is, I don't know any of those banks. That's why I said Mercury Bank does it. They're an online bank, but
Oh, okay.
all like local banks like Wells
Mm-hmm.
Fargo or Bank of America, Chase, the big
Mm-hmm.
banks, or even credit unions,
Mm-hmm.
they need you to be there in person to open the account. That's what I've seen.
Okay. 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 Well, say, for example, say for 2020, my company makes for about $50,000. Now, when I filed tax returns, if I really understood what you told me earlier, just to confirm that I really understood what you told me, that let's say the company makes $50,000 in revenue, you said that the only tax that I have to pay is sales tax, correct?
Uh, you might have to pay sales tax. It depends on how much you're shipping. It's something you have to
Mm-hmm.
do. You don't do it at the end of the year. You do it as you do it throughout the year.
Oh,
Sales
throughout the year. Oh, okay.
sales
Okay.
taxes, you remit it quarterly or monthly depending on your total sales. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you do throughout the year. Regarding
Okay.
income taxes, there's no income tax to pay if you're operating like this.
Okay. So, say for example, I make like 25 orders every month. Just an example. Like, should I use this the sales tax like every month or quarterly? Just you said, or for six
Well, you
months.
have to first get 200 sales in a state
Oh,
before you have to file in the state.
oh, okay. Now I understand. Now I understand. Great.
And
Great.
that's the general rule. Every state has their own rules, but that's the
Mm-hmm.
general rule
Okay.
that most
Okay.
states are following. Yeah.
Okay. Now I understand better these things. Well, that's it for today, James. Thank you very much for having me and answering all my questions.
Yeah, great.
Doing good, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure. No, thanks for showing up. I know, I guess it was a short call. You don't have any other questions? You don't
No.
have any immigration questions or any anything else?
Well, for immigration, maybe for later, but not now.
Okay.
Just before I leave, just one thing before I leave.
What's
Yeah, I
up?
forgot to ask you that. Yeah, I heard you talking about from some of your YouTube videos about a text that's called Nexus. Can you tell me more details about it?
So the concept of Nexus is um, Nexus is like your requirement to file taxes. So income tax Nexus means if you have Nexus, that means you have to file taxes because you have presence or you have
Oh, okay.
because there's two kinds. There's physical nexus and there's
Mm-hmm.
economic nexus. So
Okay.
economic nexus is like if you have 200 sales or $100,000 worth of sales,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like an economic nexus. But then physical nexus is if you keep inventory in the state, or if you have like a salesperson in the state,
Mm-hmm.
and you have things like that. So if you have either of those, if you satisfy economic nexus, then you have to file and remit your sales taxes. And if you have stuff in the state physically, like inventory or something like that, then you would also satisfy Nexus and you would have to pay sales taxes or income taxes, but they all have their own rules.
Okay. Okay. Great. That Now I cleared that out. That's great. So that's
Okay.
for today, James. Thank you very much for having me, man.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to help, and thanks for watching the channel and supporting the channel. I appreciate it.
Have a great day, man. Thank you.
You too. Bye. Okay, so that call with Kamal was cool. He has a another drop shipper online business from Morocco, and same answers. You know, if he's operating all outside of the U.S., he doesn't have to pay any taxes, and if he keeps and he might have to pay sales taxes depending on the quantity of the sales that he's doing, but he still won't have any income taxes to pay. I'm happy to clear that up for him. So, you know, my name is Jim Baker. If you don't know me already, thanks for checking out the video. If you have questions and you want them answered, comment below or email my team at support@mvtaxconsultants.com. I'm doing a lot of calls like this to help people with questions and to, you know, get more information out there on that's helpful to, you know, people who are interested in this, because I focus this channel on helping international entrepreneurs and people selling stuff online, people who are delivering services internationally to other audiences, expanding their business, growing business, things like that. So I'm happy to help. If you like the video, please like the video, thumbs up, subscribe if you found it useful, and I'll be continuing to put out more videos like this in the future. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.